Live from the University of Wisconsin Fieldhouse in Madison, the 74th annual WIAA Boys State Basketball Tournament continues. Good afternoon and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I'm Jay Wilson at the Fieldhouse in Madison. Earlier this morning, we completed two outstanding Class C semifinal games. The scores in those, Florence 56, Randolph 55, and the second game, Glenwood City 81, Iowa Grant 79. Coming up for you this afternoon, two Class B semifinals. We'll start it out with Bloomer against East Troy. Joining us for the play-by-play of the game is Dwayne Mosley, WQOW in Eau Claire, and joining us on the color commentary, Eli Krogan from Watertown High School. And now, Dwayne and Eli, how about a preview of what are you going to expect today?
Well, I would think that this is a ball game where East Troy is going to try and rely on their quickness in defense. If you're coaching Bloomer, Eli, how do you overcome that?
Well, East Troy's coach had talked about the fact that they are a very quick basketball team. In fact, they were quick enough to press Whitnall and beat them by 20 in the sectional final. And as far as Bloomer is concerned, the idea would be to be patient with the basketball, and as we talked about, maybe take the ball inside a little bit more. And they also look for the three-point shot, but it's patience and discipline, setting up and getting into the things that they want to do.
You talk about the three-point shot. Bloomer has a pretty good ball player in Greg Lebersky, and he will come out quickly in a ball game, and maybe his first two or three shots will be beyond the three-point line. So you're talking about a young guy who has a lot of confidence, a team that has a lot of confidence, as does East Troy. Hopefully we'll have a ball game much like the two this morning here in the Class B opener, Jay.
All right, we hope so too. Again, Bloomer and East Troy coming up in a little bit. We'll follow that with Clintonville and Cuba City. But first, we're going to take a time out for these words from our statewide sponsors, Menards and Cenex Land O'Lakes. This is your WIAA network station.
Shop the decoration celebration at Menards and clean up savings on the Bissell carpet machine. It deep cleans your carpets beautifully. Great for furniture, too. On sale now for just $89.88. Attached back carpeting is on sale, too. Choose a rich Berber carpet like the Nomad or the sculptured Abracadabra. Your choice, just $7.98 per square yard. Freshen up for spring and save at Menards.
We're helping you build America's heartland at Menards.
These co-op tires are covered by a 60-month field hazard warranty. 60 months. Shoot, Uncle Harley met a woman, got married, had 3 kids, got divorced, moved to Alaska, struck gold, and retired in Tahiti in less time than that. 60 months. If something happens to a tire that can't be fixed, I get a new one, and all I have to pay for is the time I use the old one. Good tires, too. Yesterday, I ran over a steel fence post, hit a stump, backed over my new arc welder, and the tires are fine. Arc welder's a mess, though.
Dwayne Mosley and Eli Krogan with the Bloomer Blackhawks and the Trojans of East Troy. They are just more or less than a minute away from getting started here in this first Class B semifinal basketball game. Cuba City and Clintonville to follow. And before we get too deeply into this ball game, Eli, I just want to go back and touch again on what happened here this morning in Class C. What outstanding basketball.
Well, you're right, Dwayne. We just had two outstanding Class C games this morning, and both decided right down at the wire. And you couldn't ask for more. The intensity, the overall play, and, you know, when you see high school basketball, and especially state tournament high school basketball, you see it at its greatest, and it's probably just the purest form of basketball to watch.
We're all set to go with the starting lineups for this game, and here to introduce the teams is PA announcer Jack Rain.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the 74th annual WIAA Boys State Basketball Tournament. Here are the starting lineups for this afternoon's first Class B semifinal. For the Blackhawks of Bloomer, at forward, a 6'1" senior, number 40, Greg Lebersky. For the Trojans of East Troy, at forward, a 6'4" junior, number 14, Dave Voigt. For Bloomer, at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 33, Jay Dockel. For East Troy, at forward, a 5'9" senior, number 30, Jeremy Kendall. At center for Bloomer, a 6'4" senior, number 45, Perry Dismore. At center for East Troy, a 6'3" senior, number 54, Gary Graholski. The guard for Bloomer, a 5'11" senior, number 13, John Dockel. For East Troy, a 5'11" junior, number 20, Tim O'Connell. For Bloomer, a 5'10" senior, number 21, Pete Zeman. For East Troy, a 5'11" senior, number 12, Scott Bertsinger. The Bloomer Blackhawks, coached by Dale Parr. The East Troy Trojans, coached by Paul Keelis. The officials assigned for this afternoon's game by the WIAA, Dennis Kostak and Tom Molling.
And the fans have packed in. We were talking to a couple of administrators from Bloomer, and they were talking about some of their buses probably not going to be able to make it here due to the weather. They had to make a couple of stops on the way down, and they didn't think a couple of the busloads of fans would be able to make it to the ball game.
So we were out at noon and went to the Sheridan and had trouble getting back here.
It was tough just walking from one building to another at noontime. And it's Greg Lebersky for Bloomer to the bucket, and he lost the dribble out of bounds. Belongs to East Troy.
Well, Lebersky showed good quickness on that, taking the ball right to the baseline and wanted to get that quick, too.
East Troy with the basketball. Dave Boyd, Jeremy Kendall. Just underway in Class B, the first of two Class B semifinal games.
And Bloomer showing a 1-3-1 zone defense.
Kendall goes to the right side, off to Boyd. Boyd inside the three-point line, misses, and the rebound to Bloomer. Pete Zeman ahead to Greg Lebersky. See if Lebersky fires from three. To John Dockel.
East Troy in a man-to-man defense.
Lebersky in the lane, shovels it off to Jay Dockel, goes to the basket and scores.
And Lebersky created that play with a good penetrating dribble and dished it off to Dockel.
Here's a steal in the backcourt by John Dockel, to cousin Jay Dockel. Lebersky for three. No. Tracked down by Pete Zeman. Bounce pass nicely. Dockel to Dockel. Too hard and no good.
Good pass inside. Got the short jumper off the glass.
And slapped away from Tim O'Connell by John Dockel. Driving, laying it up. No. Ahead to Jeremy Kendall. East Troy, the Trojans. Kendall goes all the way and scores.
Kendall showing good quickness, taking the ball all the way to the glass and laying it in off the glass. Nice soft touch.
And a whistle and a foul. Number 12, that's Scott Bertsinger picking up the personal foul.
Bertsinger ran into the pick, and in that case, you need your teammate up there to be calling the pick and giving you a little help. His teammate was way back and not in position to give him that help.
It's a 2-2 ball game with 6:19 to play in quarter number one. Greg Lebersky looking. Jay Dockel underneath. Shot by Dismore is no good, but he was fouled in the process of shooting, so Dismore, the senior, goes to the line, and Bertsinger picks up his second.
Bloomer doing a good job taking the ball to the basket, creating something inside.
Chip Kendall is in the lineup, number 22, a 6-foot junior, replacing Bertsinger. Perry Dismore is at the line. He will have two. First one is good. Bloomer out in front, 3-2.
We might look to see if Bloomer wants to press after a made free throw.
One in and popping out. East Troy with a basketball. Long lead pass is going errantly and out of bounds, and it will belong to Bloomer. And number 54, Gary Graholski that time, unloading the long pass, but it's actually East Troy ball. It was thinking he meant East Troy ball, not Bloomer.
East Troy was kind of looking for that long, for the press, and then through the long pass, it was deflected out of bounds, and they retained possession.
Jeremy Kendall moves in, hangs from 10, in and out. Just 4 rebounds for Bloomer. The Blackhawks bringing it down. The champs of the Heart of the North Conference at 15-1. Steal, Chip Kendall. And turns the ball over. Turnover, East Troy. Bloomer gets a break in the ball back.
Well, he was trying to get a little too much out of that, taking it to the basket. It was Bloomer with 2 turnovers, East Troy with 3.
John Dockel gets a pick from Jay Dockel, puts up the soft 14-footer and hits it. 5-2, Bloomer by 3.
John Dockel used that screen well.
And a foul on number 13, John Dockel, trying to come up with a steal at center court. And Tim O'Connell, number 20, was the man handling the ball. There's Dale Parr, and there's Olakilas.
John Dockel is quick on
Yes,
defense.
he is.
He's caused 2 turnovers, and that time drew the foul. But they got to, when he's around, they got to be careful.
Jeremy Kendall at 5'9". Off to O'Connell. Shot on the way, missing. Number 14, Dave Voigt, and a foul on East Troy. Voigt with the personal.
After the missed shot, Voigt was going to follow in, and here's the missed shot. The ball bounces back. Voigt follows in, tries to rebound, didn't have position, and fouled him from behind.
John Dockel, number 13, working into the front court, guarded by Chip Kendall. Off to Pete Zeman. 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Leberski, John Dockel gets a pick, pulls up from 14 feet, left hand, no. Leberski going up for the rebound, and a foul called on Greg Leberski, his first.
Well, that's the second rebounding foul, one at each end of the court, one on each team. Team fouls, Bloomer 2, East Troy now with 3.
Number 20, Tim O'Connell, the 5'11 junior guard, bursting into the front half. Bounce pass to Chip Kendall, guarded by Greg Leberski.
They're playing against that 1-3-1 zone defense.
And there's Bloomer, effectively with it, coming up with the ball. Lead pass stolen back. O'Connell behind the back, shovels to Kendall. Good. Jeremy Kendall with 4. Quick transition by East Troy to pull within 1.
And that basket was created by Tim O'Connell.
Jay Dockel puts it up from 10 feet. No, rattled the side iron. Outlet pass. O'Connell has the basketball. Gets around Zeman. Groholski loses the ball, but there's contact made, and John Dockel is on the arm of Gary Groholski. That is number 2 on John Dockel.
Here's a nice inside pass from O'Connell. That's his second good pass in a row. On the previous play, O'Connell had intercepted the ball, taken it back down the middle, and dished it off to Kendall for the layup. And this time he had the penetrating dribble and dished it inside.
Substitutions being made. Jay Tess and Dave Voigt are back in for East Troy, There's Mike Olson, number 23, in the lineup for Bloomer. He's joined also by Dave Seibel. Here's a block by Seibel. 6'3 against 6'3, and the Bloomer sub off the bench wins the battle. Leberski to Pete Zeman. 3:55 for the first. 5-4 Bloomer over East Troy. Nice pass. Leberski. Dockel. Jay has his shot blocked. Pass is stolen by Bloomer on the save attempt by East Troy. And a foul under the bucket. Turnover, I should say, stepping out of bounds. So Bloomer will keep the basketball.
East Troy setting up in a 2-3 zone defense.
Jay Dockel short, Seibel there to rebound, and that ball is rejected out of there by Groholski, and off the hands of Bloomer, out of bounds. Leberski lost the touch. East Troy's basketball.
Bloomer back into a 1-3-1. 1-3-1 zone defense, and we look at East Troy setting up in a 2-1-2 offense to attack that.
Jay Tess has his shot bounce and roll off the rim. And a push underneath against Bloomer.
East Troy is putting two guards out, splitting the point guard defensive man for Bloomer.
Number 53, Dave Seibel with the
Here
foul.
we see the ball go inside, coming off the board, and the foul.
And the inbounds pass thrown away. Zeman picks it up for Bloomer. Zeman rifles one up from short range, but no good. And Lampley will give the ball back to Bloomer.
Now Zeman took the ball down the court. He was intimidated by Jay Tess at 6'5". He threw up kind of an off-balance layup attempt.
No good by Lebersky. O'Connell rebounds and brings it down. It's around Mike Olson. And I got a foul on the arm. Greg Lebersky, number 41, is the man singled for it. His second personal foul. The Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board is proud to bring you this telecast statewide. The people who produce dairy products, homegrown in Wisconsin. Bill Rothbauer is in the lineup for Bloomer. Bill is a 6'1" junior forward. Jeremy Kendall is re-entering for East Troy, and number 22, Jim Kendall, is coming out.
That puts East Troy in the bonus and puts O'Connell on the line.
Tim O'Connell, 17 points a ball game. Makes good to tie the game at 5.
You can see that concentration as he sets up to shoot the free throw. Eyes on the target, elbow in and follow through, and he hits it.
And East Troy leads at 6-5. 3 minutes to play in the first period. Class B semifinal ball game between Bloomer and East Troy. Clintonville and Cuba City will follow. Rothbauer with the ball way out high, lost his dribble, and turns it over and back.
And that time, East Troy, with their quickness, turned up the defensive intensity a notch.
So we have a timeout with 2:50 to play in the first. We'll return to the field house after these words from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and Marshfield Clinic. This is your WIAA Network Station.
How long will the memories linger? How soon will the photographs fade? Have the years slipped through our fingers? Has tomorrow become yesterday?
How quickly the days turn into years. That's why you should talk to your rural insurance agent about life insurance before tomorrow becomes yesterday.
Has tomorrow become yesterday?
Could have gone to Manhattan and lived the big city life. All the Broadway plays, fast-paced, the crowds. But I came here instead. Things get done right away. Top medical specialists who respect one another. The patients are super, and so are the doctors. Some might think a small town in central Wisconsin would be really lonely, but this is exactly the crowd I've always wanted to be with.
Marshfield Clinic, an American institution since 1916.
East Troy by a point, 6-5 over Bloomer, and poor shooting so far.
Well, we can see from the field goals that East Troy with 2 out of 7, Bloomer 2 out of 10. Both teams getting a slow start shooting-wise, but the defensive intensity is a factor in that.
And there's Tim O'Connell with a three-pointer. He has 5. He scored the last 5 East Troy points, and it's 9-5 Trojans, 5-4, biggest lead. Either team here in the first period. Seaman working to the bucket. Shot knocked away from behind. O'Connell ahead to Jeremy Kendall. No good. Off the side iron and rebound by Bill Rothbauer.
And O'Connell with a heads-up steal and the pass up to Kendall almost created another basket.
And there's a steal. Tess slaps it to Kendall. And a foul coming in on Bill Rothbauer as he knocks Jeremy Kendall to the floor.
Here was the ball being batted forward. Kendall recovered it, takes the ball hard to the basket, draws the foul. What we're seeing is East Troy's defensive intensity turned up a notch. They're creating some turnovers, and with the turnovers, they're creating some transition and fast break opportunities, taking the ball right to the glass.
Greg Lebersky and John Dockel, they are back in. Bill Rothbauer is checked out of the lineup. And Kendall misses the free throw. He's averaging 14 points a game, 5'9" senior guard. Boy, he is quick with tremendous leaping ability. 5 points for Kendall. It's a 10-5 East Troy lead. After trailing 5-2, that's 8 unanswered by the Trojans for a 5-point advantage.
I'm sure Bloomer right now is concerned about putting some points on the board. They have 5 points, and they're working hard to get good shots against East Troy's man-to-man defense.
And the ball is kicked by Jeremy Kendall on the pass attempt by Mike Olson. Right now they're having a problem getting the ball inside.
Well, they are. The defensive pressure and intensity is forcing them out a little bit further than they'd like to be, and they wind up with a penetrating dribble by the guards, and they really haven't scored much off that.
Chip Kendall is back in for East Troy. John Dockel stops, puts up a shot, off balance, no good. Rebound, Jay Dockel back up and in. Blackhawks down 10-7, 4 for Jay Dockel.
And that's how you get back into basketball games, with that second and third shot, the putback.
Loose ball picked up by John Dockel of Bloomer. We're at a minute 25 to play in the first.
East Troy staying with the man-to-man defense.
Jay Dockel powering to the basket and drawing a foul.
And that's just what you were talking about, Dwayne, getting the ball inside. And they've tried to drive it inside with the guards. Here they make that good pass inside and draw the foul. Another angle on the play. And you can see him foul. He's taking it to the glass. But that's just what they need, is to get that pass inside and establish that low post game.
Jay Dockel misses on the first free throw. Gary Groholski picked up the foul. That was his first. A minute 14 to play. First period of action. Jay Dockel good on the next one. 10-8 ball game. Chip Kendall into the front court. Double team, gets it off to O'Connell. Here's Jeremy Kendall sliding down the lane. No!
Kendall on a quick drive down the lane.
And that is
it caused the charging foul.
His first.
John Dockel set up and took the charge.
Mike Olson for Bloomer, guarded by Jeremy Kendall. Bounce pass out on top to Greg Leberski. Averaging 22 a game. In, out, and staying out. Dockel and Seibel going up to battle on the board, and a whistle on the play and a foul call. I think number 53, Dave Seibel, is called for the foul. It is.
Well, and on the replay, when the rebound comes off, we can see where he draws the foul in coming in from behind. Number 53 on the left of your screen draws the foul.
Number 2 on Seibel, the 6'3 junior. I think a Bloomer substitution. Terry Dismore is back in, the starter. Replaces Jay Dockel, who gets a break here in the final minute. We're at 45 seconds to play in the first period. Jay Tess, his first trip to the line. And the attempt is no good off the back of the iron, and Terry Dismore claims a rebound.
And this is a tempo that I think Bloomer is comfortable with at 10-8. They just didn't want the quickness of East Troy to start to build some momentum and run off some quick points.
John Dockel working against Chip Kendall, and there's Jeremy Kendall coming in from behind to steal and go all the way in to lay it in. 12-8 East Troy.
Well, that's what happens when you turn your back and lose track of where that other defensive man is.
We're at 9 seconds for the period. Mike Olson. Seibel from 6. No. Rebound Groholski. 1 second. O'Connell won't get a shot off. We have played 8 minutes. East Troy leads 5-4. We'll return to the Fieldhouse after these messages. This is your WIAA network station.
It's time to spring into a Toyota at your Toyota dealer Spring Challenge sales event. Toyota says 20,000 cars, trucks, and vans have got to go. You can get the Toyota you want from a record-breaking selection if you act right now. Your Toyota dealer is going to do whatever it takes. Help with financing, immediate delivery, low monthly leases. You name your deal. Let your Toyota dealer make it. But you'd better hurry. Toyota's Spring Challenge sales event is heating up.
When you're serious about lawn care, then the 600 Series mowers from Deutz-Alles are for you. The 600 Series are rugged lawn tractors, taking on mowing, snow removal, and ground maintenance chores. The 600 Series, the tougher lawn tractors. Discover compact farm tractor performance at a garden tractor price. Discover the Ultima from Deutz-Alles. Check out special financing on both the Ultima and 600 Series at these area Deutz-Alles dealers.
Osby Garage, Argyle, Scott Implement, Platteville, Keeney Motors, Mount Hope, Senex Home and Farm Center, Cottage Grove.
Double meal deal, please.
Double meal deal, please?
You'll see a lot of twosomes at Kentucky Fried Chicken, because we've got a special double meal deal. A meal for two at one low price, just $4.99. 5 pieces of juicy chicken, buttermilk biscuits, mashed potatoes, and gravy, coleslaw, all for just $4.99. So come on in for Kentucky Fried Chicken's double meal deal.
Double meal deal, please.
Just for one.
You're not hungry?
Make it a double meal deal today.
Jeremy Kendall going in to lay in East Troy's 12th point of the opening quarter. Very poor shooting for Bloomer. Look at that, 3 of 17.
Dwayne, when we look at that statistic, 17 shots, a lot of shots, but they hit just 3 out of 17. With East Troy, still only 4 out of 10. Rebounding pretty even, 12 for Bloomer, 11 East Troy.
There's a three-pointer by Tim O'Connell. He is up to 8. That's his second three-pointer, and it's 15-8. 7-point lead for East Troy, biggest in the game.
Well, the last time we talked about shooting statistics being poor, he hit a three-pointer, and this time he hit a three-pointer.
I think he's found something by listening to him. Here's by Greg Lebersky. His first two. Blackhawks need to get number 41 involved offensively. He's their top scorer at 22 a game. Groholski. O'Connell. This is Rod Heckman, number 40, a new face to open the quarter.
Nice pass.
There to put it in.
Out of the 2-1-2 offense against the 1-3-1, he made that diagonal pass across the defense, across the lane, got an easy 2.
The lead is back to 7 at 17-10. John Dockel looking to pass, now turns and shoots from 12 feet out on the right side.
Well, that's when you get hung up and no one to pass to, nothing else to do but hit for 2.
17-12. East Troy. O'Connell missing. Ball loose. Groholski picked it up. Shot rejected by Dismore. Here's Greg Lebersky. Puts on a move to the bucket. Scoops it up. And is called for the foul. His third as he charges inside and knocks Tim O'Connell to the floor.
Here we see the block shot at the other end, which creates the fast break. Tries to take it all the way to the basket. O'Connell sets up and takes the charge.
That is 3 fouls on Greg Lebersky.
That's an important statistic.
Dismore, another block. And he really gives Gary Groholski problems to put the ball up off the top of the backboard and out of bounds. So Greg Lebersky is out and Dave Seibel is back in.
Well, Dismore with those 2 block shots, and then he made Groholski really alter that shot that bounced over the backboard.
John Dockel ahead to Jay Dockel. This is Pete Zeman working against Tim O'Connell. Down low, shot up by Jay Dockel, and we have a foul over the back on number 52, Jay Tess.
Tess gets called for a pushing foul from the back. We see the ball go over, and just at the very start of that play, the ball came back over, and he pushed off to get position.
Pete Zeman is at the line. Oh, Pete had that elbow stuck right there on the side of his neck of Jay Tess. Sure that didn't feel very good. 4-point deficit for the Blackhawks on his point number 1 in the game to Pete Zeman. He is a 5'10" senior guard.
Nice follow through, nice rotation at the line.
Blackhawks to Bloomer, trailing by 3. The Trojans into the front court. Number 12.
Now Bloomer comes out, kind of a half-court trap, and O'Connell beats it.
Bertzinger to O'Connell to Groholski. 19-14. 4 for Groholski.
And the same diagonal pass across the lane, across the defense. Perfect pass, gets the basket.
Dale Parr, the head coach of the Blackhawks in his first year, the Bloomer coach, taking his team to a conference title in the heart of North. Substitutions being made. We have Jay Test and Scott Berchinger going out. Tim O'Connell's also going out. Chip Kendall is in, along with number 14, Dave Boyd.
Well, as Tim O'Connell goes out for East Troy, we might point out that the 5'11 junior is just showing a lot as far as passing the basketball and hitting the open man.
John Dockel is at the free throw line, makes good on the first one, 19-15. Bloomer down by 4, and that's 5 for John Dockel. Jeremy Kendall also came back into the lineup. Dockel makes good on this attempt. Deficit again, 3. East Troy with the lead. Kendall fires for 2. No. Getting the rebound as Jay Dockel falls to the floor. It is called for a travel.
Well, on that, the two players got tangled up, and you may see here on the replay where as they come down, the two players get their legs tangled up right here, and inadvertently he spins down and is called for traveling. That's just one of those things when you get your legs tangled up.
Bloomer now with 8 turnovers. East Troy with 7. Kendall for 3, and nothing from the bottom of it.
Kendall hit a long 3 on that one.
22-16, watching him shoot around Wednesday. Boy, he was shooting them in from ease, with ease, from 20, 21 feet out. Here's a steal. Heckman shovels ahead Jeremy Kendall and lost the ball in the dribble out of bounds. 8 turnovers on East Troy.
Now, the turnovers at 9 and 8 are just a little higher than both coaches would like.
Timeout, 22-16, East Troy. The WIAA state tournament action continues after these messages from our statewide sponsors, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board and Menards. This is your WIAA network station.
Wisconsin is famous for milk as fresh, pure, and wholesome as Wisconsin itself, and the great tasting dairy products we make from our milk. That's why wherever you go in America, you'll find more and more people looking for dairy products made right here in Wisconsin. Look for them in your supermarket. They're America's dairy best, homegrown in Wisconsin.
This is the final week of the decoration celebration at Menards. Hurry in for outstanding values on Glidden interior paint and exterior stains. Perk up rooms with Glidden spread wall paint, now just $5.88 per gallon. For all your sanding jobs, stock up on Norton sandpaper. Reach for the Super Pack and Save. 24 assorted sheets on sale now for just $1.89. Hurry in to save at Menards.
We're helping you build America's heartland at Menards.
East Troy up by 6 at 22-16. And look at that three-point effort. 3 of 6 for the Trojans.
Well, the 3 of 6. And O'Connell looks good shooting that three-pointer. And Kendall just drilled a long three-pointer. The three-point shot is a factor in the ball games, and some teams use it well, and some choose not to use it. And in cases, some teams just can't shoot it very well. But if you do have three-point shooters, you know, I think you have another element to your offense.
In East Troy right now, they have their 2 leading scorers, both very active in the ball game, O'Connell and Kendall.
East Troy out in the half-court trap.
Here's Perry Dismore from 12 feet around and off, no good. Mike Olson there to rebound, back up and in on the weak side. Nice effort by Mike Olson. And East Troy's lead is back to 4. 2 points for Olson, knocked to the floor. Olson by Jeremy Kendall, and he's called for the foul.
Well, Mike Olson, who is their 7th man coming in, Mike Olson sets up here, takes the charge. And in the previous play at the other end of the floor, he'd gotten an offensive rebound, used a good pump fake, and then put it in off the glass.
John Dockel doubled up, gets it to Pete Zeman. Kendall slapping at it, nearly knocked it away. Bounce pass is stolen. Graholski ahead to Tim O'Connell. Coming on the right side, putting it up. No, we have a whistle before the shot, and a foul on number 21, Pete Zeman.
Here's the fast break as he takes the ball down the right side, draws the foul, was taking the ball to the glass, and certainly was in position to take it in for 2. That was set up by Graholski, stepping in and causing that turnover, stealing the ball.
Jay Dockel, the leading rebounder on the Bloomer club, goes up to get the ball on the missed free throw.
Half-court trap by East Troy.
Ball will belong to Bloomer. East Troy head coach Paul Keelis in his first year. And in state tournament's Class B field. Knocked away again. Chip Kendall. O'Connell puts on a move. Goes down the lane. Banks it, no. Gets his own rebound. Back up. Missing again. Rebound. Number 14, Voigt. And he is knocked to the floor by Jay Dockel.
Well, that offensive opportunity was created out of the defense. Here we see the offensive rebound. Grabs him on the arm, fouls him.
Jay Dockel with his first personal at the free throw line is Dave Voigt. 6 feet 4 inches tall. He is a junior. The lead is 5 as Voigt picks up his first point. 23-18 East Troy. 19-5 coming into this game. 24-18.
Voigt looked good at the line, followed through well on both shots, and here's the half-court trap by East Troy. The 1-2-2.
Jay Dockel out on the right side. John Dockel, and traveling called as Dockel walked before he put the ball on the floor. Turnover number 12 on Bloomer, and that number is really growing.
Well, oftentimes you try to go through a game with 12 or 13 turnovers, or maybe even less, and East Troy is forcing a lot of turnovers, and that may be a factor as the game goes on.
Chip Kendall waiting nicely as the Blackhawks fly by on the attempt to alter the shot, but Kendall picks up the bucket. Lead is 8, biggest by East Troy with 3:20 to play and a half. Walking on John Dockel a second time.
And here the defense, the trap at half court, that causes another turnover, and Bloomer looks like they need a timeout.
You called it, Coach. 3:19 to play in the first half, and pretty obvious what Dale Parr is going to relay to his ball club right now. They're just not doing a good job of taking care of the basketball and starting to play into the hands of East Troy right now.
Well, they are. The turnovers, Bloomer with 13, East Troy with 8. But the defense by East Troy has really turned it up a notch, and they're forcing Bloomer into some things that they don't want to do, and the turnovers and maybe a couple easy baskets off that counts for the difference of 26-18.
Yeah, Bloomer's top scorer, you see Dale Parr addressing his team. Greg Lebersky is on the bench with 3 personal fouls. They have basically gone almost, they've gone about 4 minutes without Greg Lebersky in the ball game. He only has 2 points. Coming in, he was scoring 22. Tim O'Connell and Jeremy Kendall, the top 2 scorers for East Troy. You see the field goals there, 5 of 12 for East Troy. Bloomer 3 of 5. Those field goals here good for the quarter.
And the factor, too, that East Troy has 12 shots. Bloomer just has 5 shots in this quarter.
Saying Tim O'Connell and Jeremy Kendall have picked up the offensive pace. They've been the 2 guys that led the Trojans in scoring this season, and after a fairly quiet first quarter by both, it's been picked up by O'Connell and Kendall here in the second, and a lead of 8 at 26-18 with 3:19 to play.
And when you're going against a tough defense like East Troy is putting up, you need all the experience in there you can get, and having Lebersky on the bench with 3 fouls certainly hurts.
So Jeremy Kendall, 5'9" senior with E.T. on the socks, goes to Voigt on the left side. Zeman steps in. Pete picks off the pass. It was intended back for Kendall, but Pete Zeman stepped in and stole it. Bill Rothbauer, number 51 for Bloomer. Inside of 3 minutes at 2:55. Terry Dismore puts it up. Good. 3 for Dismore, 26-20. Blackhawks down by 6. Trojans back with it. O'Connell cross court to Kendall. Voigt at 18 feet thought about it. Turned it down. Kendall into Groholski. Turning from 8 feet. Side iron, no. Rebound Dockel. On the back is Voigt picking up the foul.
And on that one, Dockel really showed why he's an outstanding rebounder, and you can see in the replay, watch Dockel just go after that basketball, number 33. Another angle. Ball comes off the board. Number 33 up hard after the basketball. Not only gets the ball, but draws the foul.
Dave Boyd is out of the lineup. Number 32, Mike Cotter, a 6'2 senior forward center, in the lineup for East Troy.
They say to be a good rebounder, you have to have a nose for the basketball, and Daco really showed that he has a nose for the basketball, and he wanted that one.
Doesn't have to be pointed either, does it?
No, that's right.
26-21. Misses on this one. 2:29 left to go in the half. 5-point lead for the Trojans. Here's Jeremy Kendall. Tim O'Connell. And he lost the dribble right into the hand of Daco. John Daco to Pete Seaman. Shot blocked by Jeremy Kendall. We talked about his leaping ability. It just got a shot of it. There's Tim O'Connell at the other end to score. Big turnaround for East Troy. Back up by 7.
And a beautiful pass from Kendall to O'Connell. He just threaded the needle with that pass.
Here's Daco. He gets away from the pressure of Groholski. Steal on the inbound. John Daco to Pete Seaman. No interference. The ball would have went down. But Bill Rothbauer, in his anxiety to go up and make sure it went in, interferes with it. No basket. And the score stays at 28-23.
Well, for Bloomer, that one really hurts because you can see this ball is going to go in.
Jeremy Kendall guarded by Seaman. Tim O'Connell pulls up off balance. Not a good shot by O'Connell, and Bloomer's John Daco the basketball. We're at 1:30 now to play in the half.
Now the tempo is picked up a little bit for Bloomer.
Rothbauer puts on the move. Shot up from 6. Dismore slapping, trying to get the ball knocked away from O'Connell. Couldn't do it. Seaman steals. Traveling.
East Troy has kind of gotten into a little situation here where they haven't gotten any real offensive effort, and they've turned the ball over about 4 out of the last 5 times down the court.
Here's Chip Kendall. Bounce pass inside, slapped away. Groholski has it back, puts it up too hard. Here's Rod Heckman, around and no good. Bloomer back with the ball, 1:03 to play in the half. East Troy by 5, 28-23. Dismore, Rothbauer back to Dismore, lays it up and in.
And that was just a textbook play of how you beat the half-court trap. A pass in the middle, a pass to the side, right back to the postman going down the middle for a layup. That's just the way you draw it out.
Bloomer has cut it to a deficit of 3 in the last 2.5 minutes. Kendall's three-point attempt is out no good, and it's out of bounds off Groholski, who slapped it away from John Daco. Mike Olson is in, and John Daco will sit down.
Well, the score was 26-18 when Bloomer took a timeout to kind of collect their thoughts, and they brought it right back to 28-25, so it was a good timeout for them.
Bill Rothbauer to Mike Olson, guarded by Jeremy Kendall. Left side, Jay Daco glances at the clock with 22 seconds on it.
East Troy stays in a 1-2-2, and they want to trap the ball.
15 to play in the half. Pete Seaman, back to Mike Olson. Steal, Jeremy Kendall. Loses the ball going to the basket. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. And it is halftime. East Troy, 28. Bloomer 25. We'll be back after these words from our statewide sponsors, Senex Land O'Lakes and Rural Insurance Company. This is your WIAA network station.
I guess compared to most, my business is pretty small potatoes. But there's nothing small about what I expect from my suppliers. When I need fertilizer and chemicals, I want what was promised, when and where it was promised. Which is why I'm happy that Senex and Land O'Lakes are working together now. A supplier like that should be able to meet my demands. You see, the co-op and I have always done business according to the law of supply and demand. I demand, they supply.
How long will the memories linger? How soon will the photographs fade? Have the years slipped through our fingers? Has tomorrow become yesterday?
How quickly the days turn into years. That's why you should talk to your rural insurance agent about life insurance before tomorrow becomes yesterday.
Has tomorrow become yesterday?
Halftime with East Troy ahead of Bloomer 28-25 in this Class B opening semifinal basketball game with Cuba City and Clintonville to follow. A half of spurts, obviously, Eli Krogan. Bloomer having a 17-point second quarter, and it was a 16-point effort on the part of the East Troy Trojans. I think Bloomer has to feel pretty good about the closing 3 minutes. They kind of pulled themselves back into this thing, playing a lot better basketball.
Well, you're right. It was a game of spurts, and when East Troy turned up the intensity on defense, they scored some points out of their defense and really took the lead and looked like they were taking control of the basketball game. Then, as you recall, with 3 minutes to play in the second quarter, Coach Parr took a timeout, and it was well timed. The score was 26-18 at that point, and after the timeout in the last 3 minutes, East Troy turned the ball over a number of times. Bloomer outscored East Troy 7-2, and they've come back to a 28-25 halftime.
Our afternoon host, Jay Wilson, is standing by across the way with a special guest. Jay, who do you have for us?
Well, Dwayne, we're very pleased to have UW Athletic Director Ade Sponberg joining us, and if Ade smiles a lot, there's a good reason for it. The Badger basketball team continues in the NIT. I understand you'll be hosting St. Louis Monday night.
That's right. 7:05 Monday night, we'll play St. Louis, and that'll bring the group down to 8.
Now, could you explain what the basketball season has meant to your program, both financially and emotionally?
Well, the fact that we filled this place several times this year is really significant because, as everyone knows, our attendance at football has been down and our financial problems are well chronicled. So this is just a great uplift. From a financial standpoint, we can't expect basketball to solve our deficit problem. That's a much broader problem, but it's gotten people's enthusiasm up. People are feeling good about the athletic department, about the job Steve's done, and about the basketball team, and that can only help.
Whenever we get to a state tournament situation, it's always around a UW Fieldhouse or a UW natatorium. What's the relationship between your department and the WIAA?
Our relationship with the WIAA is excellent. Doug Chickering runs an outstanding operation, and we work very well with them. We think that the university's facilities are ideal for the WIAA, and we're happy to cooperate in any way we can to make this work.
What does the university get out of something like that?
Well, that obviously is minimal from a financial standpoint because we're kind of a service operation in that respect. But what's very important, I think, is that the state championship is the pinnacle of high school basketball. We kind of like to think that the University of Wisconsin-Madison is kind of the pinnacle in the educational process. So we believe there's a great tie. It's great to have them on our campus, and obviously it's wonderful having all these people in Madison.
You're going to be spending so much time here at the Fieldhouse, we're going to have to get you an office and a phone up there in your seat.
Well, it's just the excitement and the enthusiasm surrounding Badger basketball at tournament time. It's kind of exhilarating for everyone, and we enjoy being part of it.
Ade, we appreciate you stopping by.
Jay, it's my pleasure.
Ade Sponberg, the athletic director of the University of Wisconsin. We thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back in just a moment after these words from our sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Kentucky Ford Mercury. Better selection. Better deals. And what really makes us stand out are better people. Close your eyes and picture your image of a car salesperson. No matter what image you see when you visit Kentucky Ford Mercury, the reality of satisfaction will be more than you would have expected. Simply put, friendly, low-pressure salespeople who go out of their way to make you feel welcome. Kentucky Ford Mercury Reedsburg for hassle-free car and truck buying.
Trust the rig that was born to dig. Hot iron. Uptime, all the time. Got no time for downtime. Move dirt, make mountains walk. Ford New Holland makes metal talk. Trust the rig that was born to dig.
IG Hall, Janesville. Hanley Implement, Sun Prairie. Rollings of Watertown and Economowalk. Gear up for great values at Weaver Auto Parts. Weaver's large selection of quality automotive products makes car care simple. Enjoy everyday low prices on the entire line of Goodyear products. From automotive belts and hoses to sport belts for snowmobiles, Goodyear makes it. And at Goodyear, quality is backed by a lifetime guarantee. Goodyear means quality, and quality means Weaver. Stop in today to any of Weaver Auto Parts' 10 convenient locations for professional service at affordable prices.
Dwayne Mosley and Eli Krogan at the field house, and here's a fast break bucket by East Troy during the first half.
Kendall makes a great pass to O'Connell, who shows good balance, keeps his head up, banks the ball in off the glass.
28-25 score. You take a look at the numbers from the first half. 9 of 28 for Bloomer, 10 of 28. Neither team really having much luck shooting the basketball, at least being consistently with it. 35%. We go on to the scores. Jay Dockel with 8, John Dockel with 6, the top Bloomer, and there's Kendall and O'Connell, each with 10. The name missing from Bloomer there is Greg Lebersky. He had only 2. Coming into this game, 22 points per game is average, so you're only down 3 points if you're Bloomer without your top man playing really hardly any of the second period, sitting on the bench with 3 fouls.
Well, I think that's something that'll be a factor when he comes back into the ball game, and also he should help against that half-court trap and the pressure of East Troy. One of the points in the shooting statistics, of course, is that Bloomer in the second quarter shot 6 out of 11 and started to get back into this where East Troy shot just 6 out of 18 in the second quarter.
Turnovers, I recall just a minute ago, 14 for Bloomer, 11 for East Troy. There was a time there about the middle part of the second period where the turnovers really having a negative impact as far as Bloomer was concerned, but then East Troy kind of got out of control, moving the basketball down the floor, and now their number went from like about 7 up to 11 in a short period of time. So turnovers has been a factor on both sides, and we have a 28-25 score here at halftime. It was 12-8 after 1 in favor of East Troy, so it was a 16-point second quarter for the Trojans, and it was a 17-point second quarter effort for the Bloomer Blackhawks to get it 28-25. The 74th Annual Boys Basketball Championships continue in a moment. This is your WIAA Network station.
Kentucky Ford Mercury. Better selection. Better deals. And what really makes us stand out are better people. Close your eyes and picture your image of a car salesperson. No matter what image you see when you visit Kentucky Ford Mercury, the reality of satisfaction will be more than you would have expected. Simply put, friendly, low-pressure salespeople who go out of their way to make you feel welcome. Kentucky Ford Mercury Reedsburg for hassle-free car and truck buying.
You'll get a special feeling when you slip behind the wheel of a 6200 series tractor. Tractors equipped with air-cooled diesel engines built for years of hard work. The 6200s are very reliable and backed by capable parts and service departments in over 1,400 locations. For modern, efficient farm power, the 6200s stand ready to show you what they can do. Check out the special financing plans and 6200s at these area Deutz Alice dealers.
Wade Implement, Endeavor. Hanley Implement, Sun Prairie. IG Hall, Janesville.
Turn. 28-25 East Troy out in front of Bloomer. We're about a minute away from the start of the third period. Want to remind you what is coming up after this game. We have a Class B semifinal between Clintonville and Cuba City. And then this evening, we will move into Class A semifinal action at 7:05. Wauwatosa East meets up with Racine Horlick. And then after that, the Big Rivers will be displayed on the Fieldhouse court. Lacrosse Logan will meet up with the Huskies of Eau Claire North. As far as our championship television times, well, tomorrow afternoon it starts with Class C at 1:05. Florence and Glenwood City, both teams 26-0. And then it will be the Class B championship game at around 2:45. And then we'll be back at 7:30 for the Class A championship game at this year's 74th Annual WIAA Boys Basketball Tournament. Well, we've seen some great stuff, haven't we, Eli?
Well, the games have been very exciting. It's been end-to-end basketball. It's been down-to-the-wire basketball. Just great effort, great intensity by the players on all of the teams, and the fans certainly get their money's worth.
We're all set to go. As Bloomer has the basketball to open up the third, John Dockel. Guarded by Scott Berchinger, who kicks the ball out of bounds. Greg Lebersky will inbound. Now he won't. Now Pete Zeman will get to do that.
And the first change we see from the end of the second quarter is that East Troy has gone back to a man-to-man defense.
John Dockel. The lob for Dismore and a foul on the back. Jeremy Kendall went up with the 6'4 Dismore, but also came down with a foul. His second.
On a sideline inbounds play, you can see him. Here he comes off the pick near the free throw line. Takes that high lob pass.
And Dismore misses baseline from 8 feet away. Kendall pushing it up the floor, drives the lane, scoops it up around, no good.
Kendall takes the ball end to end very fast.
And has a very confused look on his face. Wondering, what am I going to have to do to get something to fall? Well, he co-leads the Trojans in scoring with 10, a steal, and a foul on the back. John Dockel, that excuse me, foul. He didn't mean to push him in the back, but he ended up there anyway.
Well, that's at least the second time that Grahowski has just jumped in front and stolen that pass, so he plays aggressive defense.
Rod Heckman is in, and number 30, Jeremy Kendall, walks to the East Troy bench. 7:17 to play in the third. Tim O'Connell looking to come inbounds. He does to Jay Tess. Tess shovels it ahead. O'Connell moves quickly. Baseline, puts up a soft 8-footer, but it still won't go down. We got a jump ball between Heckman and Dismore. The arrow gives the possession back to East Troy.
And as East Troy sets up in a 1-2-2, taking it out, and they call for a 2, which may be right back to O'Connell, and it is.
Here's Berchinger. Here's shot good for 2. 30-25, his first 2 points in the game. 5-point lead for East Troy.
O'Connell covered, gave the ball right back to Berchinger.
Greg Lebersky for 3. Got that one.
And Dwayne, that's what you were talking about, the fact that he was out. And first time he handles the ball here, he was hungry. He wanted that one.
Wasted no time. He picks up his 5th point of the ball game, in and out. Rebound, Jay Dockel. Bloomer down by 2 at 30-28. Greg Lebersky. Grahowski back to the floor. In close to Dockel, and a foul on Jay Tess.
East Troy playing that man-to-man. Here we can see a good matchup inside. Dockel takes the ball to the basket. On another angle, you can see him foul from behind. Dockel and Grahowski were having a good battle, and Grahowski slipped to the floor, which that's why Dockel was free on that play. He took the pass inside, and the foul was on Tess, but that Tess really wasn't covering Dockel.
And that one misses. 9 points for Dockel. Here's Heckman pulling up from 10 feet. Good. Rod Heckman.
Heckman got a long outlet pass from Grahowski on that one.
Lebersky to Pete Zeman. 32-29 game. Jay Dockel around Grahowski to scores 11 points. 32-21, make it 32-31. Whistle as bodies hit the floor. Jay Dockel and Greg Lebersky, but a foul whistle on the Trojans. Foul on number 20. Player control foul. That's Tim O'Connell. There's Dale Barr checking the stat sheet of the Bloomer Blackhawks.
Taking the ball to the basket, drawing the offensive foul.
5:40 to play in the third, 32-31. And keeping right in step with the Class C action, we have another close ball game here this afternoon. John Dockel hanging, missing. Grahowski nearly lost the rebound, outlets it to O'Connell, fires the pass ahead to Berchinger, moves in the lane, hooks one up and in. How about that move? Little half hook with the right hand to make it a 34-31 game.
Berchinger with a pretty shot as he drove across the lane, flipped the ball back in over his head.
Pete Zeman works it to John Dockel, bounce pass to Jay Dockel, and we have a push on Gary Grohowski. You know, those, just talking a minute ago about Grohowski and Dockel, they've been banging and crashing against each other there, and that's become a pretty good battle.
Here with 4 on the free throw line, we look for the cutters coming through. They set a screen, and this was set up for the 3. They would do one of two things off that. Either cutters going through to the basket or set up 3 for a 3-man screen, and Leversky looking for the 3 over the top.
34-33 on the John Dockel bucket. He has 8 points. Trojans miss. Rebound Jay Dockel. Bloomer can regain the lead, something they haven't had since they were up 5-4 back in the first. Jay Dockel. No good. Tipped by Dismore short. There's John Dockel off balance. Throwing it up and in.
Well, that's one of those you just throw up and you hope it goes in. He was off balance, falling down, and it went in.
So the last time they led was 5-4. Bloomer now up 35-34. Missed shot, rebound as Dockel hits the deck and he wants out.
I think Dockel's asking for someone to come in and give him a little time. He's playing just as hard as you can play.
He pointed to the heart saying the blower needs a little rest. Leversky in low, putting it up off balance, too hard, missing, tip back up and in. The Blackhawks lead by 3. Perry Dismore scores.
Right now, all the momentum is going Bloomer's way.
Jay Dockel takes a block and is called for the foul. Substitutions. Dave Seibel for Bloomer comes in for Jay Dockel. Mike Olson is coming in.
Jay Dockel, a very tired young man, going out right now.
Sits down, and that's his second foul. Jeremy Kendall has re-entered the ball game. Chip Kendall also is in for East Troy. Look at John Dockel. Coverage of the 74th Annual Boys Basketball Championships are an exclusive statewide presentation of Marshfield Clinic, American institutions since 1916. O'Connell makes it 37-36. East Troy down by a point.
Bloomer was looking for that half-court trap, but East Troy is staying with a man-to-man.
Zeman shovels it. Got the ball right back as it was slapped away. Dave Seibel puts it up still. Still loose. O'Connell comes down with it on the break. Rebound, Pete Zeman.
O'Connell took that one all the way to the basket. Was a little off balance and flipped the ball up there, and it just did not go in.
Kendall hounding Zeman. There's a foul. Jeremy Kendall. I believe that will be his third. And Scott Bertzinger is going to come in for Kendall, and Kendall, who was in just in the last substitution move by East Troy, sits with his third. Make it his 4th personal foul. Kendall has 4.
Well, just as Leversky sat out the first half for Bloomer, now one of the keys for East Troy, Kendall is sitting out with 4 fouls.
Yeah, he had 10 at the half and has yet to score. Here in the third, Pete Zeman makes it 38-36.
Now, one of the things at the half, the rebounding was even at 21-21.
Zeman is good again.
Now Bloomer out in full court pressure.
Chip Kendall. Fronted now by Leversky. Tim O'Connell goes to the right side. Bloomer by 3, 39-36, 2:43 to play here in the third period. Kendall drives the lane, pulls up from 6 feet, too hard. Rebound, Chip Kendall. Back up, still won't go for Chip Kendall. Pete Zeman into the front court. Guarded by Scott Bertzinger. Bounce pass to Mike Olson. Off to Greg Leversky. Pulls up for 3. No, he hits the deck and a foul on Tim O'Connell.
Now that's a tough foul because you're fouling a guy out there shooting a 3-point shot, which is in a low percentage area, and you really don't want to foul a perimeter jump shooter anyway, but he got a piece of the shooter and drew the foul.
And the free throw is good. Lebersky is a 70% free throw shooter.
You might look for Bloomer to press full court after this made free throw.
And both are good. 5-point Bloomer lead, their biggest lead in the ball game. 41-36, 2:11 to play. Third, ball out of bounds, thrown away, belongs to Bloomer. Turnover on East Troy. Timeout asked for by the Trojans. 2:10 to go. Our coverage continues after these messages from our statewide sponsors, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board and Marshfield Clinic. This is your WIAA network station.
My friends were shocked, leaving L.A., the beaches, the restaurants, the warm weather. But I'm here. The staff's outstanding. I can consult, discuss cases with nearly 300 specialists, still do my research, write papers. Main thing, spending a lot more time with patients. This small town in central Wisconsin, where else would I find such a warm and caring climate?
Marshfield Clinic, an American institution since 1916.
Ah, the virtues of milk.
Hey, Katie, how about that driving lesson?
Sure.
And back up.
Milk has vitamin B12 to help keep your nerves working normally. Vitamin A for healthy eyesight. Plenty of calcium for a healthy smile. And phosphorus for quick reflexes.
How was the lesson? It was great.
Milk,
Dad.
it does a body good.
Okay, here's the shot. You can see he's closely guarded. He's off balance, flips the ball up, and that's kind of a circus shot, one that you just hope goes in. The ball rolled around and went in.
Shots like that, the Dale Parr is really happy they go in. 5 of 12 for Bloomer, 3 of 11 for East Troy, so their slump shooting lines in the second is carried over here into the third, and now it's resulted in a 5-point deficit. Bloomer's played a real decent 6 minutes of basketball so far, with 1:58 now to play in the third.
East Troy trying to turn up the defensive pressure and force a turnover.
Bill Rothbauer is now in the lineup after the timeout, along with Dave Seibel, Mike Olson, Pete Zeman. Chip Kendall trying to take the ball away from Rothbauer. Jay Tess on Dave Seibel. And here's the steal by Tim O'Connell. Breakaway East Troy. And fouled by Dismore. O'Connell will get up off the floor and go to the free throw line.
Okay, O'Connell takes the ball hard, takes it all the way to the glass. Another angle on the play. Almost lays the ball in as he's fouled.
12 points in the ball game for Tim O'Connell. The foul on Dismore was his first.
And we just talked about East Troy needed to turn up the defensive pressure and try to force the turnover, and that's just what they got.
O'Connell makes good on the first one. John Dockel is now in for Bloomer. Both free throws go in for O'Connell. So it's 41-38. East Troy down by 3, 1:20.
O'Connell, a good free thrower, 6 out of 7 from the stripe.
And there's a foul on O'Connell.
That foul out at midcourt is certainly one that he'd like to have back, because you just don't want to foul him out there with not much hope of getting the basketball.
That's 3 now.
Right, and with his third foul and Kendall out with 4 fouls, it puts him in a little problem with the guys.
Rod Heckman is in, and O'Connell's got to check out. Tim O'Connell sits with his third. John Dockel is at the free throw line. He's good. His 11th point. 4-point lead for Bloomer.
Dockel, a left-hander, looks very confident at the line.
East 4-4. Mike Olson is in. John Dockel is out. We have 1:21 to play in the third. Bloomer by 5, 43-38.
Bloomer out at full court pressure after that made free throw.
Scott Berchinger troubled by Zeman. Lead pass ahead to Chip Kendall. Berchinger, top of the key. Fires to Heckman. In low Jay Test, make it Gary Groholski. Shot no good. Rebound Dave Seibel. 1 minute to play in the third.
East Troy staying with the man-to-man defense. Where they turned up the pressure last time, this time they're not putting a lot of pressure on the basketball, and they're kind of letting Bloomer run the time off the clock. Bloomer may be content for the last shot.
Now we're at 35 seconds. Pete Zeman again with it. Berchinger against Zeman. Zeman tried to go in, but comes back outside with it now, out high to Mike Olson. 18 seconds to go in the third.
We look for Bloomer to set something up with about 10 seconds to go. Maybe with an open middle off a penetrating drive.
And the ball is thrown away.
And he did try to drive the middle, and I think he looked for the baseline man to make a backdoor cut, but the baseline man stayed where he was, and the ball went out of bounds.
It's frustrating. He had the ball for 41 seconds and then turn it over. Get nothing out of it. Here comes Heckman with 6 seconds. Heckman drives. Heckman lays it up. Heckman misses. Rebound, Dismore. 2 seconds. 1 second. 3 quarters. Now complete. It's Bloomer going to the fourth, leading East Troy by 5. We'll return to the field house after these messages. This is your WIAA network station.
Just a rig that was born to dig. Hot, hot iron. Uptime, all the time. Got no time for downtime. Move dirt, make mountains walk. Born to haul and make metal talk. Just a rig that was born to dig.
IG Hall, Janesville. Hanley Implement, Sun Prairie. Frollings of Watertown and Oconomowoc.
Do you remember it tastes so great? The frosty root beer, too good to forget. A taste to remember. That's A&W Restaurants.
Why dream about all these tempting treats when you can stop by your local A&W and satisfy your craving? With food this good just around the corner, this is no time to hibernate.
A taste to remember. That's A&W Restaurants.
Gear up for great values at Weaver Auto Parts. Weaver's large selection of quality automotive products makes car care simple. Enjoy everyday low prices on the entire line of Goodyear products. From automotive belts and hoses to sport belts for snowmobiles, Goodyear makes it. And at Goodyear, quality is backed by a lifetime guarantee. Goodyear means quality, and quality means Weaver. Stop in today to any of Weaver Auto Parts' 10 convenient locations for professional service at affordable prices.
Bloomer by 5 at 43-38 going to the fourth. Those are the third quarter stats.
Well, on the stats, you can see East Troy shot 3 out of 13 in that quarter for 23%, while Bloomer was 5 out of 12 for 41%. Bloomer still maintains a 33-26 rebounding advantage.
That because Jay Dockel has really been a man underneath in the ballgame for Bloomer. Lepersky goes left, bounce pass Pete Zeman. Zeman feeds it back to Lepersky, going down the lane to score, 45-38. And that's the biggest lead in the game for the Blackhawks. Bloomer now by 7.
Zeman with a perfect bounce pass across the lane to Lepersky.
Jay Tess hits the side of the rim on his turnaround 10-footer from the baseline.
And that's 3 out of 14 this half for East Troy.
Very critical opening couple of minutes here if you're East Troy. Bloomer has a lead of 7. Showing no signs of letting up. Blocked nicely by Tess on what appeared to be a sure 2 for Pete Zeman, and Jeremy Kendall had the ball stick to his left hip and turns it over.
Well, with shooting 3 out of 14 in this half, and now with their 14th turnover, it's pretty tough to put anything on the board.
John Dockel to Dismore. Bounce past Greg Lebersky. To Jay Dockel. Pull up from 8. Right baseline, no. Coming out of there is Junior Rod Heckman with it. And Jeremy Kendall, the floor general for East Troy, works easily down the lane. Pass for Tess stolen. Ahead to Lebersky. 47-38. 9-point lead by Bloomer. 11 for Greg Lebersky. Biggest lead by the Blackhawks now at 9. O'Connell from 14 in and out. Tipped out to Kendall. Almost at 3. Goes into Groholski. Stopped up by Dismore. 3 on the way by Kendall. No. Up to get it Dockel. Lebersky going in. Knocked away by Tim O'Connell and out of bounds. And Lebersky hits the floor fairly hard down there and flat on his back.
Now, when East Troy's shot was short, Dockel came up with it through a long outlet pass to Lebersky, and O'Connell stripped the ball away at the baseline to prevent a layup.
Here's Jay Dockel putting it on the floor, then putting up the 6-footer to score.
And that was fair. Lebersky gave the ball right back to Dockel, and Dockel powered it in for 2 more.
It's up to 11. Bloomer has the biggest lead by either club. Groholski misses right now. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong for East Troy. 5:59 to play in the ball game. Bloomer with the ball, with also an 11-point advantage.
East Troy shooting about 3 out of 17 or 18 this half. One of the things that Bloomer is really showing that's helped them take the lead is they pass the basketball very well.
East Troy coming into this game averaging 75 points a game. Good Dockel go against Groholski. Tess blocks it, but Tess also got part of Jay Dockel's body. And picks up foul number 3. Bloomer has started to put some distance between themselves and their opponents. The Trojans of East Troy. There's Jay Tess. Jay Dockel with 13 points at the line.
Tess posts up very hard in there. He wants the basketball. He's about 200 pounds. He takes up some room and positions very well in the low post.
Now with 14. To find out rebound total for Dockel. I would think he's in that 10 to 12 figure today also.
Soft touch. You got the shooter's roll.
51-38. It is a plus 13 for the men in orange, trimmed in white and black, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. O'Connell will inbound for East Troy. Side court.
From the first quarter, when East Troy started out with that 12-8 lead, this game has had a big turnaround.
Ball knocked out by Bloomer. Tim O'Connell will inbound. Out high it comes to Heckman. O'Connell for 3. No good. Rebound Jay Dockel again. And looking to get rid of it to someone. Jay may have to put it on the floor himself, but a long bomb into the front half to Greg Lebersky.
Now East Troy double teaming.
And if that's on Tess, it's his 4th. If it's O'Connell, it's his 5th. It's on 52, Jay Tess. See Dave Boyd come back in for East Troy.
Tess and O'Connell put a hard double team on Lebersky on the sideline, and Tess picked up his 4th foul.
So Lebersky with 11. Keep in mind he had only 2 at halftime because he had to sit just about the entire stretch of the second period with his 3rd foul. So he's had 9, leave it at 9 here in the second half. 5 minutes to go in the game. East Troy down by 13. Kendall bursting, gliding down the lane to lay it in.
And that was a very critical possession for East Troy. They needed to put 2 points on the board. They needed to break the momentum, and Kendall took it to the board, laid it in for 2.
A dozen in the game for Kendall, 51-40. Bloomer with the ball, leading by 11. Dockel being guarded by Heckman. Here's Lebersky to the floor, and a foul on 40, Rod Heckman. East Troy head coach Paul Keelos.
East Troy trying to turn up the pressure on defense. And the last two times they've double-teamed the ball, and both times it's resulted in a foul.
Lebersky at the line, 2 of 3 today. And knocks that one down. You know, this tournament so far, the teams that have the up-tempo style of teams, they've really had trouble playing their style of basketball. We look back at the games of yesterday and last night and what we've seen here today.
Well, tempo is important. If you can play to the tempo that you want to play and that you're comfortable with, it's much easier for your ball club.
52-40 the score. Kendall fired a 3, misses. Voigt with the rebound. Heckman pulls up from 18 and a half. Nothing. All open at the other end. Lebersky. 54-40, the biggest lead by Bloomer is at 14. Lebersky 14 points with 4 minutes to play in the game.
East Troy needs a timeout.
The 74th Annual Boys Basketball Championships will continue after these words from our statewide sponsors, Senex, Land O'Lakes, and Menards. This is your WIAA Network station.
Shop the decoration celebration at Menards and clean up savings on the Bissell carpet machine. It deep cleans your carpets beautifully. Great for furniture, too. On sale now for just $89.88. Attached bag carpeting is on sale, too. Choose a rich Berber carpet like the Nomad or the sculptured Abracadabra. Your choice, just $7.98 per square yard. Freshen up for spring and save at Menards.
We're helping you build America's heartland at Menards.
You like folks who really know how to apply themselves to their work. Call your local Cenex or Land O'Lakes Cooperative for fertilizer and chemicals.
They're teamed up with CF Industries to assure you of fertilizer when and where you need it. Cenex Land O'Lakes Cooperatives offer crop planning, soil testing, prescription blending, and custom application to improve your yields and profits at harvest.
So get in touch with your local Land O'Lakes or Cenex Cooperative when you need a helping hand.
Bloomer leading 54-40, and for East Troy, the shooting continues to be their problem. Only 1 of 8 here in the fourth.
Well, after going 3 for 13 in the third quarter and coming back with a 1 for 8, they're 4 for 21, and it's hard to catch up, or it's hard to even stay even in that situation, and they've dropped behind by 14 points. They need to have a lot of defensive intensity if they're going to turn this around.
Kendall fires for 3. Shot no good. Rebound. Perry Disboy lobs it ahead to Lebersky. Greg Lebersky coming in for the left side. Fakes, goes up, shoots, misses, it is fouled. And Jeremy Kendall picks up what I believe will be number 5. He knows it. He's just on his way to the bench.
Here we
And
see
out of the ball game.
He takes the ball to the basket. He makes a good pump fake. And the key on the pump fake is he gets Kendall off his feet. And now Kendall's kind of at his mercy. He takes the ball up and draws the foul.
Greg Lebersky back at the free throw line. He has 15 points in the game, 13 here in the second half. 3:47 for the game. The Blackhawks of Bloomer by 15 over the Trojans of East Troy. And Lebersky hits another one. 56-40 up to 16. So 14 points in this half for Greg Lebersky.
And that's really been a key in their turnaround. Him coming off the bench, playing with 3 fouls, scoring 14 points.
Mike Cotter has the ball taken away by John Dockel and Pete Seaman. Dockel to Lebersky.
We talked at the beginning of the show that the quickness of East Troy is going to be a factor in their defensive intensity, but Bloomer has shown some excellent quickness.
Ball is knocked out of bounds by East Troy. You know, you were talking about Lebersky and the big difference he has been in the second half. What a difference the rest of these Bloomer guys made without Lebersky in the first half, without his offensive contribution.
Well, that's what a good team is all about, and that's why you can see a team like Bloomer comes in out of the regular season 18-2, 23-2 now in tournament time.
Number 20, Tim O'Connell, that'll be his 4th foul.
They always say you don't get there with one good player.
That's right.
You need a good team, and not only Lebersky, but Dockel inside, and just the whole rest of the ball club has done an excellent job today.
Greg Lebersky Made 4 in a row at the line. He's up to 17. 3:13 to play. Cuba City and Clintonville, they await for the next Class B semifinal. 58-40, up by 18. And Scott Berksinger turns the ball over on the dribble. It's been a fast slide here for the Trojans. They haven't been able to put the brakes on and stop it.
Well, here was a team that at one time had a 26-18 lead in the second quarter. Since that time, they've scored 14 points, and they've been outscored 40-14.
As you mentioned just a few seconds ago, it's pretty tough to hold on to a lead. They didn't have a lead that big to start with to really enjoy going into a prolonged slump.
Bloomer content now to run some time off the clock in a 3-man weave out front.
Pete Seaman to Greg Lebursky to John Dockel. Heckman chasing the man with the ball. Dismore had a running start and is out for the travel.
Well, you said that exactly right. He had a running start.
He had traveled about 10 yards before he put the ball on the floor. Then it was too late. He'd already knocked down a couple of guys. There's a 3 by O'Connell. That's no good. Dismore rebounds, battling with Gaholski. Jay Dockel with the ball in the backcourt to Pete Zeman. 2:22 to go in the ball game. Bloomer is that far away from moving into the Class B championship game tomorrow afternoon.
Well, and East Troy is a good basketball team also. They beat Whitmo by about 20.
Jay Dockel went up and went down, and Dockel's called for the foul. Player control foul. There's Chip Kendall in the lineup, replacing Scott Bertsinger. 2:09 left in the game.
In that game, East Troy pressed Whitmo, beat them 88-68, and East Troy really hasn't been able to press Bloomer and rattle that ball club.
There goes O'Connell. He does a nice job of changing hands with the basketball and gets the roll and the basket. 58-42, a minute 54 to play in the game.
That was about the one time they got the roll here in the second half.
And Tim O'Connell leaves as he fouls John Dockel in the backcourt. So Tim O'Connell and Jeremy Kendall, the top 2 scorers coming into the game for East Troy, now on the bench with 5 fouls. 16 for O'Connell today, 1 under his season average. 12 for Kendall, just a couple under his average. But both of these players had to sit more than their fair share of time on the bench in foul trouble, which did nothing to help the offensive flow of East Troy. 12 points in the ball game today for John Dockel. Dave Seibel is coming in for Jay Dockel. John Dockel coming into today's ball game, a season average of 9 points.
See that concentration, determination as he sets up.
John also the assist leader for the Bloomer Blackhawks. Timeout called. A minute 51 to go. Bloomer leads by 18. We'll return to the Fieldhouse after these words from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Companies and Marshfield Clinic. This is your WIAA network station.
How long will the memories linger? How soon will the photographs fade? Have the years slipped through our fingers? Has tomorrow become yesterday?
How quickly the days turn into years. That's why you should talk to your rural insurance agent about life insurance before tomorrow becomes yesterday.
Has tomorrow become yesterday?
It's impressive, challenging. Advanced technology, the resources, the equipment, doing medical research in a modern environment, researching different diseases, what causes them, how to prevent them. That's why I moved to this little town in central Wisconsin. It's the cooperative spirit among doctors. And patient care, quality care, is always first priority. It's a simple philosophy. We work together to bring the best to our patients.
Marshfield Clinic, an American institution since 1916.
A minute 51 to play in the basketball game. Dale Parr and the Bloomer Blackhawks right now resting, sitting comfortably with an 18-point lead, 60-42 over East Troy. I want to pass along some information to the folks in Clintonville and Bloomer. The band buses did arrive. The state of Wisconsin right now not having much fun with some inclement weather. And those folks, members of the bands from Clintonville and Bloomer, have arrived. Some fans were told did turn around and go back to their respective communities, but the band buses are here, and everyone is here safe and sound.
Scott Birchinger took it down, made a lean-in jump shot. They forced the turnover, almost got another one.
So the deficit is at 16, a minute 36 to go. Chip Kendall and John Dockel has his fourth. Chip Kendall is at the line. Ball went in and fired right back out. In case you weren't with us for this morning's Class C session, Florence over Randall, 56-55. Missing. Kendall tie-up jump ball on the rebound. It belongs to East Troy. Glenwood City, 81. Iowa Grant, 79. Glenwood City and Florence meet tomorrow afternoon for the Class C championship. Shot up the side of the board. There's Groholski putting the ball up from 6 feet out in front. Good. 60-46, down by 14. 1:23 to play. Pressure in the backcourt. Here's Lebersky at center court looking to pass off. He does to John Dockel. Double team. Heckman on his back, threw the saddle on him, and Dockel bucked him off, but Heckman hit with the foul.
Lebersky did a good job that time, and just as he was going to cross the center line, he saw a trap coming up. He stopped, passed the ball back, and which resulted in a foul. But had he dribbled over the center line, it's a tough place to be trapped, and they wanted to get a quick trap and force a turnover or pick off a bad pass and take it down the court.
John Dockel has yet to miss at the free throw line. 7 of 7, 15 points. A minute 15 to go. 8 of 8, 16 points for John Dockel, the senior. 62-46, Bloomer by 16. East Troy's Scott Birchinger trying to get free for a three. Shot on the way from about 15 feet out, and hitting it is number 44, Chad Miller. There's Dockel, fouled by East Troy. 58 seconds to go. Foul is on number 40, that's Rod Heckman.
You can see East Troy, even with the score 62-48, they're playing hard right to the end, and regardless of what the score is, the effort stays right there.
Jason Ellison is in for Bloomer, number 43. Gary Groholski goes out, gets a nice round of applause. Number 34 for East Troy in the lineup. Ted Simcock is in, 6'3" senior center. John Dockel makes good. 9 of 9 at the free throw line. Lead is back at 15 for Bloomer. Good again, 64-48. Rod Heckman. Lost the ball going down the lane, pushes it off to Simcock. Rebound, Jason Ellison, and a whistle on the rebound, Chip Kendall. Following Jason Ellison. More substitutions for Bloomer. Richie Davis is in, number 11, and number 31, Dean Minen is in. Number 15, Chuck Morning, 5'10" sophomore, is in the lineup. Coverage of the 74th Annual Boys Basketball Championships is an exclusive statewide presentation of Senex Land O'Lakes. See your local Senex Land O'Lakes cooperative for all your automotive needs.
One of the keys, Lebersky just went out of the ball game, but he was able to play the whole second half and not foul out of the ball game and stay in there and make a good, solid contribution and lead them back to a big win. And he had a lot of help from his teammates.
I don't think he picked up a foul in the second half, did he?
I don't believe so.
He had 3 at halftime and leaves with 3. Jason Ellison. 65-48. Number 25. Checking in, that is Chris Petrus for Bloomer. Jason Ellison going for his first 2 state tournament points, and he gets one. 66-48. Scott Birchinger side of the board, and it's picked off by Bloomer. And here's Kendall reaching in and fouling number 11, Richie Davis. Richie Davis will make a trip to the free throw line. Number 50 for East Troy coming in is Mike Pitzel, a junior center at 6'2". Scott Bertinger is checking out of the East Troy lineup.
Well, Dwayne, we'd like to point out to all of the fans from East Troy and Bloomer as well that where East Troy came in at 20-4, Bloomer coming in at 23-2, that there really aren't any losers. They're all winners, and it's unfortunate that only one team can go on, but both teams have had great seasons.
And it's a sour feeling at the time when you're on the losing end, but then, as the hours go by, you start thinking back at, you're one of only a select few to be here, which really is the number one underlying thing. Win, lose, or draw, you're one of 16 to make it to the state tournament in Madison, and that's an awful darn good feeling.
It's a great trip and a great thrill to play here.
For three, shot no good, missing. It's Chad Krasinski. 18 seconds to go in the game. Richie Davis. Stolen away. Here goes Simcock. It's good. 67-50. 4 seconds. Jason Ellison with 2 seconds scores, and he's fouled with 1 second to go in the game.
And for those two young men coming off the bench, one from East Troy and one from Bloomer, they both got the thrill of a lifetime and something they'll always remember. The East Troy player scores one at one end, and they go right down the other end, and he throws one in.
Jason Ellison going strong to the basket, a chance to complete a three-point play. Front iron, nothing. Rebound put back up and almost made at the buzzer by Chuck Morning. But Bloomer moves on to the Class B championship game by way of a 69-50 victory over the Trojans of East Troy. We'll return to the field house after these messages. This is your WIAA network station.
If you're looking for a solid, reliable, versatile, state-of-the-art forage harvester, look no further than the Gale 1060. With a 200 horsepower rating, the Gale 1060 features an exclusive patented spinner delivery system that jets material from cylinder to blower in a continuous flow. Features include an overrunning clutch, in-head hydraulic knife sharpener, single-station cutter bar adjustment. Additional options are available on the Gale 1060 forage harvester.
Cross-Tool Implement, Albany. Wade Implement, Endeavor. Johnson Tractor, Janesville. Studer Super Service, Monroe.
Double meal deal, please.
Double meal deal, please?
You'll see a lot of twosomes at Kentucky Fried Chicken, because we've got a special double meal deal. A meal for two at one low price, just $4.99. 5 pieces of juicy chicken, buttermilk biscuits, mashed potatoes, and gravy, coleslaw, all for just $4.99. So come on in for Kentucky Fried Chicken's double meal deal.
Double meal deal, please.
Just for one.
You're not hungry?
Make it a double meal deal today.
The final score, the Bloomer Blackhawks over the Trojans of East Troy in the opening Class B semifinal basketball game, 69-50. And in that final 8 minutes of play, Eli, 26-10 or 26-12, the scoring difference in favor of Bloomer to post that 19-point margin of victory.
Well, if we look back to what would probably be a key in the ball game, I think there were two real keys. One, at a point in the second quarter, with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter, it was 26-18 in favor of East Troy. And Coach Parr took a very critical timeout because East Troy had a run going, and they came back after that timeout in the last part of the second quarter to outscore, Bloomer outscored East Troy 7-2. So that was a key, and they went on from there to outscore them at one point by a situation of 40 to 14. And then the other key point was Lebersky staying out of foul trouble and playing through the second half and not drawing another foul.
So it ends up a 69-50 score, and across the way, Jay Wilson is standing by with Dale Parr, the winning coach of the Bloomer Blackhawks. Jay.
Thanks very much, Wayne. Well, Dale, your team shot something like 17% from the field in the first quarter. You were trailing by 3 at halftime. What was the wonderful message you gave him for the second half?
Just first of all, relax and have some fun out there. We're real tight. kids haven't been in a game of this magnitude before, and we told them to turn up our defense a notch, Jay, and play a little bit tougher. I thought they were going to be too quick for us, but we went man-to-man full, and we got some turnovers and took them out of their offense a little bit.
You also had an advantage in the rebounding department. Jay Dacco was really something down there today.
He's a banger. You know, if we could just keep him healthy for one more game, he's just a heck of an inside player.
How about the town of Bloomer? You haven't been to a state championship since 1936. What's it been like in the community and the school?
I tried to find somebody that was old enough to be living back in 1936, but I haven't found anybody yet. Okay, now, that's been wonderful. They've been great backers. It's been a lot of fun. Everybody's here. Last guy out shut the lights on, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I want to show everybody this little button here. That's Dale's little daughter. What's her name?
Ashley. She's a cheerleader.
Ashley, she's been outside, so the whole family gets into this.
You betcha. We're a family affair.
Well, tomorrow, either Cuba City or Clintonville, that ought to be a good matchup as well. Huh?
They're both great teams. We don't care who it is. Wish them both luck.
All right, Dale Parr, thanks very much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Okay, now let's go back to the other side and Dwayne Mosley.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. And again, congratulations to Dale Parr and, of course, to Paul and the East Troy Trojans bunch on their fine season. We look at the final stats. Bloomer shooting 37%, Eli, and 31% for East Troy. And the rebounding department, look at that advantage.
Well, Bloomer at 43-33 in a rebounding advantage, and they were jumping on the boards, and Bloomer is the jump rope capital of the world, and they're jumping for joy today.
Leading scores between them, 18 for each one, and 16 of those points for Lebersky coming in the second half. And Tim O'Connell, 16 for East Troy. Jeremy Kendall with 12 to top the scoring for the Trojans. 69-50 the final score, Bloomer over East Troy, and we'll return to the Fieldhouse after these messages. This is your WIAA Network station.
One timeout that is going to come down to free throws, and Florence made every one of them.
Florence is your Class C champion. You see the leading scorers right there. Stamper 31, Segalenk with 17. Greg Gillick, on the other hand, finishing with 20 today. That's just 4 points short